We are back again. We are here for our Founders Chat with Satya, with Patrice. Let's see if we can get this going. So we do the Founders Chats once to twice a month where I talk to another fellow founder here in Canada. And today is Patrice from Satya. Yay, we got it happening. Yay. I'm so happy we got this to happen. Welcome everybody to our Founders Chat. And I have Patrice. Very excited to have you here. And we're going to go through, all the questions, how it started, trials and errors and everything, and where we see Satya going in the next few years. So I'm Caitlyn Vanderhaeghe, President and CEO of KidStar Nutrients. And this is my This Healthy Caitlyn Instagram page where I do all the fun extra stuff on. And so I want to make sure that everyone knows who you are. So let us know how you started your company, when it started, and how it's been going lately.
Oh God, so much to tell. Okay. So first off, I also want to say how I met you because your mom is super, super cool. And I have a book of a picture of you and your sister and your mom on it that has been finally getting good information about women's health. Yes. It's kind of amazing. And then you gave me these for my little girl, and she loves them.
I'm so happy.
In fact, you know how you and I were talking about how practicing swallowing pills?
Yes.
She calls them her little bobas because they're about the same size as a boba tea, right? So she loves them. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, it was awesome. So yes, my name is Patrice. I'm Anishinaabe from Fort William First Nation, but I grew up in Sioux Lookout, Ontario, which is about 4 hours north of Thunder Bay. It's a little tiny town.
Yes.
Tiny. And for many years, I was a broadcast journalist, so I had radio and TV shows, and that's sort of what I thought my whole gig was going to be. And then I had a baby, and your world completely changes. And when she was about 8 months old, because I didn't know what I was going to do, but I didn't feel like that was the right path for me anymore. Even though still wanted to have some impact, it just feel like I wasn't being the positive force in the world. So anyway, she was 8 months old, and she develops eczema or eczema, depending on how you like to say it. And her doctor, and it was bad. She was scratching and just bleeding, on her crib sheets, and it was just killing me. Doctor said the only option was steroids, which I did not believe to be true. I had, interviewed people about the detriments of using steroids as well as all these toxic chemicals that are in all our products. And I thought, well, I am a pretty good researcher. So I actually went on Facebook Marketplace and I bought, because I didn't have one, a crock pot used for $15 off of online from another mom. And got some really great organic ingredients and just started researching. So I started looking at, of course, all the existing medical research that was out there. I started looking at traditional medicine, all the anecdotal evidence from, centuries of kukums and grandmas and, all these people who really were taking care of their families forever. And as well as academic studies. So different universities and what they've been looking into in the last 10, 15 years, they're finally getting this idea that plants, botanicals are just these incredibly complex and beautiful and powerful chemicals in their own right without having to be made from petrochemicals in a lab, whatever. So I took all that information, stirred it all up in my crock pot over time. Obviously, it took a little bit of time. And what I came up with cleared her skin up in 2 days.
Wow.
Yes.
That's
so very, very fast. It literally happens within 2 days. You can see a difference. Some people's that's it. That's all you need. And and then I had a whole crock pot left over. Basically, I didn't know, so I just put it out there into the world. I was like, who else needs some? And of course, at that point, I didn't realize the depth of this issue.
Yeah.
So I had to, I put it out there. I had to make 3 more crock pots immediately because everybody was wanting, people were driving hundreds of kilometers to come and buy this out of my kitchen window, basically.
I love that.
It was crazy. But I never thought about starting a business because to me, my perception of business has always been pretty negative. It's always been about, extraction and profit, and, that the dollar is the biggest thing. And, it's all about like self-serving capitalism kind of thing. But then I saw these other women who were creating businesses that were actually, not only were they staying true to their values and being successful, but they were actually doing good in the world. They were improving people's lives and the lives of, the planet, animal, like everything. It was incredible. And I thought, if this is business, if this is what it can be, then that is what I want to be too. So I started in a farmer's market in Port Moody, which is just outside of Vancouver, at the Port Moody Winter Farmer's Market. And I sold $110, which was amazing. I couldn't believe, like, woo, it was
very
exciting
when you do the first sale.
Oh my God. It was amazing.
This is something.
Yes, it was so cool. And there was a couple women that were working there, and they I was like, what do you think of my booth? Like, is it okay? And everything. Turns out years later, one of those women became my bookkeeper, and she's been working for me for years now, and she's amazing. And so I'm also, and her other one was her sister. Anyway, it's just like, it's so community, like it's just everything comes together. So I went to our local kid store. Am I going on too long?
No.
Sorry. No. Okay.
Perfect.
I will ramble. I went to my local kid store in Port Moody, which is now unfortunately not there anymore. It's Dandelion Kids. It's a great store.
I remember.
They had a couple of them. Yeah, it's a great store. And I went to the owner and I was like, would you consider carrying my product? And she said, no. I already have so much skincare. I'm just not interested, And I said, okay, well, but do you have any skin issues yourself? And she goes, well, I do have this rash under my ring finger and I can't get rid of it. It's super itchy, whatever. And I said, okay, so I gave her one of my little travel sizes, right? And I said, I'm going to call you in 3 days. You let me know how it goes. She called me the next morning and she said, it's gone. I will carry your product. And then she talked to two friends and they talked to two friends. And then we ended up in about 70 stores in the Lower Mainland.
That's amazing.
And then Whole Foods called and they were like, we would like to carry you. And I said, I'm still making this in my crock pot. So you got to let me kind of scale up. And they were very cool. They were like, absolutely. We really want this product on our shelves. We've heard such good things. So I got a distributor and I got a big co-packer. So now it's made in big vats and I'm not staying up all night making crock pots, And so then we said go, and it went from 70 stores to 400 stores in 2 months. And then we went up to 900 stores. Oh, you know what? Before I go on about where else we are, I should actually tell people what it is. So
I was gonna say, I have it here. I've been using it. Okay. I was like, since we last saw each other at CHFA, I'm like, I went out and bought one because I was like, I always see it everywhere, but I was like, I have been loving it. My hands are very happy. So yes, please tell us what this lovely product is.
Okay. So back to sort of the beginning of the story. I'm not going to reiterate, but I wanted a replacement for steroid creams, right? Something that was going to be powerful, simple, clean, effective, and that it had to be the best of the best because I was putting it on my little girl. Mm-hmm. So this is what we came up with. When I say we, it's just me and my crock pot. It's called Satya. It's a topical anti-inflammatory that you use instead of steroids, and you can put this anywhere on your face or body, even around your eyes and around your mouth. We are, of course, certified organic, made in Canada. We're dermatologist and pediatrician approved. We're approved by the FDA and Health Canada. We are, oh God, what else are we? We're so many things.
You have like
hypoallergenic
14 things on your website. I looked at it. I was like, look at these. There's like this huge block of all the things you are. And I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was like, yep.
So many certifications. We're EWG verified, rated at a 0, which is actually the highest you can get.
That's amazing.
We are, my brain, we're also carbon neutral, plastic neutral. Everything is refillable in all of our products, approved by the National Eczema Society. We're sensitivity rated at a 0, which means it's never going to sting.
Yep.
which is so key for little kids, especially because they don't want to put stuff because it hurts them.
No, and then they're never going to try it again.
And why would they? Honestly, like the people put stuff in products that is the fragrance and the alcohols and all that, it's just stinging their skin. And this little kids actually, because it's a stick, it's super easy. They can put it on themselves.
Sure.
And they love that, and they have that ownership of it. So I did create it for the eczema. And then people with psoriasis started using it, and people with rosacea started using it. And then we had people, my first new one was a sunburn and bug bites and poison ivy and rash. And then I started getting athletes using it for skin friction and chafing. And then tattoo artists using it for, tattoo aftercare, and just like any kind of blisters, cracked heels. I have people using it after going through chemo for the skin issues there. And like, it's just, I don't have eczema myself, but I still use this like every day. You can even put this under makeup. People put this in their hair and their ears. You can use it in intimate areas, wherever you want.
Well, I was going to ask,
and
you can use it as a diaper cream for kids.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. In fact, that's what I thought people were going to be like, oh, it's a great, they use, what my customers call it, the Frank's Red Hot of skincare. So
put that shit on everything.
Exactly. And you do, like if you're going to have like a survival kit or something, you want this in it.
Well,
like
and it's so true, because I have been using it on my knuckles, because that's the driest part for me, especially because I play a lot of sports and I have like my baseball glove and stuff on. It's always my hands. Yeah. And having something that's actually easy to use, that I don't have to then also then go wash my hands. It's perfect. It just goes on. It's smooth.
Yep. And it absorbs. I have a lot of hockey players use it for like under their equipment if they're sweating and they've got skin issues. A lot of people before and after going into the pool, that sort of thing, really protecting your skin. I have people wearing skirts in the summer is sometimes a little frictiony and very painful.
So they sell shorts specifically for that. So this is a nice alternative, because then you're not having to wear shorts underneath your skirts as an adult.
Well, and if you forget your shorts and you come back and your thighs are just raw and heat and like put this on, I tell you from personal experience, it's awesome.
Yeah, it works fast. So there's two things I want to pull out from your story that are that seem to have a common thread among many female entrepreneurs specifically in Canada for sure, is that our products come from a need. A lot of them come from personal experience, and even more comes from family. So it seems to be, we're raising these kids, our life is completely changed. We find a problem, there's no solution. And then of course we're like, well, we can just solve this problem. We're going to solve this for our family, because that's what we do as parents. Yep. We solve the problem, we go out there and do it. It's very interesting. My mom, the same reason why she got into the industry was actually eczema on my oldest sister. And so she did the same thing. They were like, here's all the steroids. This is what you can do. And she was like, I don't know. This is not what I want. Yeah. She went into a health food store, and it was her first time ever being in a health food store. And they were like, oh yeah, no, like there's options. Like, let's go over here. And she said that it was like the first time walking in going, wow, like there's a whole other world that I knew nothing about. And now I'm going to learn about it and fix this problem for my family.
I don't want to villainize steroids, because for some people this is what they've been taught, this is what their doctor is saying, and this is what they've been doing on their skin. And with a product like mine, you can really cut back, if not completely remove steroids. And maybe if you do end up needing them a little bit, you're using far less often. And so they're working better, and you're not building that tolerance to them either, right? And I think everything has its place, but even a doctor, when they tell you something, they're like, use this for a couple of weeks, right? And that a couple of weeks is not enough for people.
No.
So yes,
yeah. And you're right. It's very complementary medicine. And so it's like, what can we do to minimize having to use these harsher things? What can we do long-term? How do we, and of course you need the steroids right away. Let's solve this problem fast and or mask the problem, get it, feeling better, and then solve it long-term is where we need to be moving to. And having the options available is really what it's about. I
do have people that this works better for than steroids, for sure.
Yeah.
Too. And it's like I said, it's sweet almond oil and jojoba infused with actual calendula flowers because extracts can have hidden chemicals. Gluten-free colloidal oatmeal, so it's got all the good oat bran in it that you want, and beeswax. And that is literally it. There is no colorants, there's no additives, there's no preservatives, there's no nothing.
It's also in a great package. Like it's easy to use.
Yeah.
And I was on your website and I noticed that the refills, how does that work?
So, okay. So I do have the refills because there was like, I don't get it. Well, you do. You get the refills from our website and they're nice and easy and light to ship. Yep. And then you get it and you cut it and you squeeze it all out. Did you do? Put it into a heat safe container and you can either, I do mine in the oven. Like I just turn the oven on and then as soon as it hits 350, I shut it off and I just let it sit there and melt. Yep. Or you can put it in the microwave if you want. And then when it's melted, like you don't want it too hot, so like just get it when it's melted and then you pour it back into your container. So you would take your stick, yeah, twist it back down when it's empty. Like you have to twist back down, take the elevator back down to the main floor, back to the lobby.
Yeah.
And then you just pour it back in and let it cool, and then you have a brand new stick.
That is very, very cool. So I was thinking that too. I was like, there's got to be a thing about this that I'm missing. That
yeah. You got to take the elevator down. and then yeah, it's just better than recycling is reusing.
Yes.
And we're actually nobody knows this yet, but I'm actually redesigning this packaging because there is this mechanism in it that takes up a lot of space. Mm. And I think if I can get rid of that mechanism in a way that we can still make it a twist up, but is really even easier to refill. So I'm working on that.
Yeah, that's
as well.
You know, people don't even think about all the little pieces that go into play. So before I started KidStar, I was in supply chain. And so, you know, even picking a bottle, why'd you pick that bottle? What lid went with it? Why'd you do that? Well, now the label's changing. And so, you know, I don't think a lot of people realize that every single aspect of this product has been thought through and is constantly being revamped. And it's just all the little pieces on top of making a great product are what, you know, not everybody sees the behind the scenes on that one.
And it's not just like, I try to think of it as you're not just doing like one thing, like these are opportunities. So we have, for example, like our oat bath.
Yes.
And it's beautiful colloidal oatmeal oat bath. But it also has calendula flower petals in it. So you're actually floating around in flowers in the bath. And then on the back of the packaging is a QR code and it goes to a music playlist for the bath. And it's all Canadian Indigenous music artists. So you're getting your music, they're getting more exposure, right?
Yes.
So you have this beautiful playlist for the bath. And then when the bath is done, you scoop out the flower petals. There's seeds in there. You can put them in a pot and grow your own calendula.
Okay, that's very cool.
So you just constantly think like, how do I adjust and try and make it just a little bit better, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you extend all the items? Like, okay, well now we have this left over. What can we do with it?
Yeah.
It's always a nice thought process.
Yeah.
And then also on your website, you have what was it called? Inner Circle. So that was the loyalty program you have on your website, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So is that for anybody that signs up as a subscriber or is that for like the bloggers?
No. It's for anybody. It's honestly, it's just, you know, building community and giving people an opportunity to get like a little bonus here and there. But yeah, it's our inner circle. That's about it.
I love that one.
And I also wanted to say, because I had stopped at the store at about 900 stores, but we should also say that we are the first Indigenous brand. We launched in all the Shoppers Drug Marts across Canada. So we're the first one on their shelves. So that's another 1,100 stores. Thank you. We just also became a certified B-Corp last month. Yes. Thank you. And we launched in all the metros in Ontario this week as well.
That's amazing.
So metros and food basics.
Congratulations on that. That is a huge win.
Thank you.
And a lot of people don't realize how much work goes into those like B Corps. Like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's people I think, oh yeah, now I'm certified, it's great. And you're like, no, that took months. You know, that was a lot of work. It's a huge recognition. So congratulations on that one.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a lot, you know, and I was surprised because I've always known since I started what a B Corp was. And I was like, I want to grow up to be a B Corp. But if you're not sort of in the industry, you don't know what it is. And it's sort of like it's sort of like the upper echelon, and the you've gone through all the reporting, you've been fully reviewed from like the very beginning of your supply chain to the very end of who you are and how you interact with your community and with your staff and everything else. And you have to be rated on your social impacts, the ethical decisions that you make, your involvement with community, how you respect the environment, all these sorts of things, and you get rated. And you have to get a minimum of 80 points to get the certification. And I think we came in at 92 on our first round. So that was because we were already doing a lot of the things that they were then able to measure. But we also learned a lot too, and like because we weren't keeping track of a lot of the things that we were doing.
Yes, that's pretty common. It's where you're like, yeah, things are happening, and then someone asks you a question, you're like, actually, yeah, we do that. We just don't have it written down anywhere. But yes, we're trying to achieve these goals and do all these things.
Yeah, and then, when you do structure it, it makes it a little bit better to go, easier to go farther, right?
Yes, that is true. When you know where you're already at, and then actually elevating it.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people ask about upcoming products. So I do know on your website you have a lot of complementary products, of course, the oat bass. A lot of different delivery methods of the same product. So making sure you have the travel versus the stick. So is there anything on the horizon that we should know about?
Yes. So
I like that. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. So I think the first thing that you guys might see is, and this took me forever talking about finding the right packaging, is fully compostable lip balms that don't suck. So
I completely understand when you said no, they don't suck.
Yeah. You know the ones I'm talking about, right? The little paper with the push tubes that fall down and they get
all over the place, and you're like,
and they're just gross. And so I found this company that produces these fully compostable paper tubes in the US, and now I'm ordering 10,000 of them, so they're coming from Germany actually. And what they are is they're wrapped three times of paper. So it's a regular paper, and then it's a glassine, which is like a wax paper, but it's compostable, and another sandwich of paper, and then it's infused with a milk protein called casein, which actually repels oil and dirt, and so it stays super clean. It's like beautiful shape, and the lids stay on really well. Like it's a friction hold on the lids, and you squeeze up from the bottom instead of sticking your finger. It's just like a little squeeze. Yeah, it works so well.
I'm very excited to see this because our entire house is a big chapstick house.
Yeah.
I don't know when that occurred, but like they're everywhere. My oldest daughter's like, "Where's my chapstick? Where's my chapstick?" I'm like, "I don't know. You have 7 of them." Like
the thing that we're doing with this formulation on it too is it actually, we want to improve your lips so you're not a chapstick addict.
You're not
we want you to we just want you to have a really good lip balm that you need on occasion, right? Because I was the same way. It was like wallet, keys, chapstick. We're getting out of the house.
It's true.
So we have that. We have a few other things. We're looking at doing a soap. People have always wanted us to do a really nice, very moisturizing soap that you can use.
Yes.
Which I've always kind of like, I don't know, I wasn't 100% about, because people tend to overuse soap. I always tell people, like, just if your skin is freaking out, it's pits and bits.
Yes.
And then just let your microbiome be, because like it will, you can exfoliate using like cloth or face cloth or whatever, but so we're going to do a really great soap. And I got a few other things that are coming too, but I want to say
they sound like they're going to fit perfectly in the line, and like it's all going to be super complimentary. When you're talking about using too much soap, all I thought was my kids in the bathtub, and I'm like, where'd the soap go? And they're like, the bathtub's full, and you're like, okay, all right, let's go buy some more soap. Like,
I know. I bought one of those little strainers for the thing, like for hair or whatever. It's always full of soap.
You're like, what were you doing in here? I was doing the Barbie's hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many Barbies did you wash their hair?
Yeah. I mean, I come in and she's got her dinosaurs covered in soap, and they don't have hair, but it's somehow like in every crevice of the dinosaur. Yeah, because they needed a wash.
So I have 2 more questions because I know we're going to end up getting tight.
It's
all right.
Okay. It's okay.
Okay.
I was late. It's fine.
All right. Great. So we now know where you're found in the locations across Canada,
Yes.
which is amazing. And I did
and
notice
online
that,
too.
And online.
Well.ca. Of course, our website, satya.ca, and Amazon
And
too.
then you also have US though on your website.
Yes.
So are you shipping? Are you in the US or just online?
Nope. We're in the US.
Okay.
Our US website is satyaorganic.com.
Okay.
Again, you can get it on amazon.com and .ca, and you can get it in a few different stores down in the US too. We're trying to be very intentional with going into the US because it's so giant. Yeah, so I'm still kind of thinking about where we're gonna do that.
I feel you on that one. It's such a huge population and country, and each side of the country is also very different. So depending where you're trying to get in your product, I completely agree. It's definitely an intentional choice of where to go.
Yeah, I mean, California is the size of Canada as far as population goes. Yeah. So it's just to get some people's minds wrapped around that. It's a big deal.
The Canadians know, but the Americans are like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "We're just in this little bottom part down here."
I know we're like Canada, the north, with the snow and stuff. Everybody still tries to get as close as possible to the warm border. Else. Yeah, exactly.
But I do want to know, what would you say has been the biggest hurdle for you with the company?
Being unsure of myself. I think that's probably what everyone will say, but the truth is nobody really knows what they're doing, even people who are experts or say they're experts. Be very cautious of consultants. They're pretty dangerous, especially if they've never actually run a business themselves. Yeah, cash flow is tough. I used to think I thought I was such like a failure because cash flow was always really hard. And it wasn't until somebody said to me, a tight cash flow is actually the sign of a successful product business. And I was like, oh, okay, that actually kind of makes sense because you're literally demand. You cannot keep up with demand. And then there's the huge inventory runs because, of course, the co-packers require like 100,000 units to hit economies of scale and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just, it's also like just a lot of learning all the time, which is kind of fun. Because this is my first business and I didn't really know anything before I did it. I just literally got a $15 crock pot off of Facebook and got started.
And if anyone wants to see that crock pot, it is on your website.
It is, yeah. It's actually it's in my cupboard. I don't use it for like food or yeah. It's for the museum.
Like, we're keeping that forever.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
That is where we started.
Yep.
Picture.
Yep.
And then you move on to your manufacturing facility and you're like, and here we are now.
We are also creating an innovation lab as well. So that's a whole, we'll have to come in once that like gets out into the public because we have some IP that's going to be put in place around that. We have a provisional patent, but then when I can talk more about that, we can come and talk some more.
That would be amazing.
Because it's a pretty much a game changer for a lot of people who are creating their own small businesses.
Yes, that is. It is. Yeah. And when you were talking about cash flow, it is the conversation that I think all small businesses have. And you're right. When you're growing is when you have no cash because all you're doing is buying product for the next set. And of course, marketing and advertising and make sure people know about you. Yeah. So it does seem to be. And then you get into, you're like, wow, that was a great month. We weren't expecting that. Now we need more product. We didn't realize. Yeah. And then you're back to the same spot of, we get to pay for this.
And then you get a huge run because people are like, oh, I don't want to buy your product. And then you're out of stock.
Yeah.
So you've lost that opportunity, So it's just, it's a pretty crazy situation to be in. But, just if you're starting your own business, take as much debt as you can. Be comfortable with debt. It's just life. Get as many grants as humanly possible.
Yes.
And avoid venture capital at all costs until as long as you can.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And on the grant topic, those are also a lot of work to apply for. Mm-hmm. So do make sure that you have someone to help you with them because they can also become daunting when you're like, okay, I have, it's like, stacks and stacks of things you need to give to these companies, of course, because you're getting a grant. But at the same time, you're like, I'm a small business and I am, stretched thin. Yeah. So it's always been very interesting on that front.
And it's kind of ridiculous in that the smaller amounts, like the $5,000, $10,000 grants, require way more paperwork usually than the like the $100,000 grants or whatever. Because you've also got, like, at that point you've got all your stuff kind of figured out. This is Bagel. She was just in her little tree that she shouldn't have been in. So I'm grabbing her out of the tree.
Get out of that.
She's mad at me. Yeah, like it's but then once you just start building a library of information that you can plug into other grants.
True. Very true. Yeah, that is the key. And then I have one other really important question. So over the years, have you been part of a program or a community that you felt was really beneficial?
1,000%. I do not think people can be successful if you don't have a community around you. It's just not possible. You need that support, and you need people who understand what you're going through. So it's not just your partner or your mom or your best friend. Like, it literally has to be someone who understands entrepreneurship. And so I would highly recommend Corrales. Yep. Used to be called CEO.
Oh, that's what that went. Kids and pets.
She's such a troublemaker. Oh my goodness. Funny plant. Oh, there's bad kitty. Yes, Corrales. If you don't know about it, get on it. It's fantastic, and they'll really support you in creating a business that is in line with your values, and just really become part of your family. So yeah, amazing. They're wonderful. Yeah.
And I cannot agree more with the community aspect. You know, you go to trade shows, and sometimes they're in countries and cities you've never been in, but then you finally see the one or two people that you've connected with through a community or online forum. And it's just so much nicer to know you're not alone.
Yes.
And, you know, you can ask the same questions, and what did you do for this? And I've been stuck on this. And, you know, I try not to bring home a lot of the mental part of work to the house with the girls. And so, you know, you're almost cutting a little bit off. You know, you don't want to bring that home. You don't want to get it into them that you're like having some issues or whatever you're having. So then if you're at work and you have no one to talk to, you know, it ends up being quite lonely as an entrepreneur. Yeah. So you're 100% right.
Yeah. And honestly, I just feel like this idea of a self-made anything is such baloney. Nobody is self-made. Like, do you really think Jeff Bezos is packing boxes? Like, this is a collaborative effort, and you need to respect that and respect the people that you're in the journey with, and also just to understand that once you share something, it just becomes that much less painful. Yeah, so it's really great because everybody else, guarantee you, they're going to say me too.
Yeah, that is very true. That is true. Yeah. So I want to make sure everyone knows how to get in touch with you. Yes. So what is your Instagram website?
So our Canadian website is satya.ca, satya.ca. And then it's Satya Organic in the US. And you can find us on Instagram, which is at Satya Organic. Pretty easy. And you can actually just reach out to me there. And there's different people on it, you know, looking at it, but they will always send me a message if someone's reaching out to me directly. And that's a great way to get in touch, ask a question. You know, I've literally been looking at skin issues and the things like that for a long time. So I might be able to share what I've learned. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but like I said, I practically have a PhD, I feel like, in this now. And all of our products, you know, are going to be directed towards helping people with skin issues. We're never going to be like a cosmetics company or anything like that. It's really, really about trying to keep it simple and helpful to people.
I love that. Thank you very much. Make sure everyone follows Satya on Instagram and hit up their website to ensure you are an insider on that one as well, in the inner circle. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to the next one when you get to tell us more about your innovation.
Yes, that will be really fun. I'll definitely come and chat with you about it. And I'll see you at hopefully the next next big event. Sorry, I'm outside and there's like cotton,
Oh,
the cotton trees.
yes.
Yes, it's all
Time of
around
year.
right now. So yes,
But yes,
it is.
definitely see you at the next trade show or the next women's event. And have an awesome day. Thank you so much for being part of the Founders Chat.
Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for helping my little one and your awesome products, because I love them. I think they're wonderful. So
you're very welcome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Bye.
Bye.